Good afternoon. Welcome. On behalf of the Office of Spiritual and Religious Life here at Emory, I want to welcome you to this service of gratitude. In the busyness of the semester, we are grateful for your presence here today. My name is Rabbi Jordan Bronig. I'm the Jewish chaplain in OSRL, and I wanted to help frame the next 45 minutes that we'll spend together. These are extraordinary and unique and challenging times that we're living through. You probably don't need me to tell you that. In the midst of it all, you have pressed on, deciding to become physical therapists during a pandemic. You have pushed yourself to keep learning and to keep growing. We've all felt the urge during COVID to shut down, to cut ourselves off, to withdraw, but you have all done the opposite. In the anatomy lab, you have drawn close and explored the depths of what it is to be human. You have gained new understandings and new appreciations for the human body. You have encountered cadavers and learned from the bodies that were so graciously donated by people whose generosity extended into their death. We gather today because it's important to say thank you, to find the space and to find the words to offer our gratitude for this unique experience. During our time today, we will offer thanks and prayers, read poetry, light candles, but most importantly, we will hear from your classmates and teachers about what it means to learn in the anatomy lab. We hope to make the space this afternoon to offer thanks. I invite you to be here fully, to acknowledge the feelings from this year, both the easy ones and the hard ones, and to draw upon the wellsprings of gratitude that exist within you. The poet Maya Angelou wrote, "Let gratitude be the pillow upon which you kneel to say your nightly prayer." I love how she articulates that gratitude can be a source of comfort and a source of support, a pillow, something we can truly lean on. Most importantly, she teaches that we all have the potential to make giving not something that happens just once a year, but a daily practice. This call to cultivate gratitude doesn't need to be couched in the language of religion. Could there be anything more human than the acknowledgement of thanks? And so I'll practice what I preach and just say thank you to all of you for being here today. And we're gonna turn it over from here to Michael Buckmeyer, who will be reading a poem.
Hello, everyone. My name is Michael Buckmeyer, and I'm going to be reading a poem titled Anatomy. My donor tells me to be bold just by his very presence. I donated my body, so bisect my skull, chisel through my knee, take the scalpel, and make the first incision through my skin. Act, be bold, and also be brilliant. Transform each moment you spend with my body into a brick and build a foundation for a lifetime of moments dedicated to the body of others. Engage in the process of peeling back layers and layers of imperfection, yet always preserving a shroud made of nothing but your respect for the soul that once resided within these layers. Are you mad at me for recoiling at the sight of your intestines? Your green gallbladder? Are you surprised to hear that the experience of feeling and smelling your body was too tangible, such that I ran away to the museum to reincarnate my impression of the human body through paintings, those two-dimensional representations so far removed from touch and smell? But later, as we dissected, I'd find myself holding your hand or your shoulder maintaining the connection between us. And to think how much hesitation I had to overcome the first time I touched you. It was hesitation that I overcame because of you, because I knew that this is what you wanted and expected from me. My donor tells me to be bold, and be brilliant. And now to Dr. Santucci.
Good afternoon, everybody. For those of you here that don't know me, I think I see a few family members in here. I am Dr. Jessica Santucci, and I have had the privilege of leading this year's first-year Doctor of Physical Therapy class through the wonderful, yet often challenging process of becoming anatomy experts. I have enjoyed every second of it, though I know for my students it was often overwhelming. I'm proud of you all for working and studying hard and even pretending to laugh at the cheesy meme slides I put in my PowerPoints to try to brighten your day, even though I still don't really understand what a meme is. By the end, I'm pretty sure you were sick and tired of me asking you, where did it come from? As annoying as it might have been, I'm positive you'll thank me for it later. So if you're still having nightmares about how the median nerve makes its way to the thumb, or having a crazy dream about the omohyoid, well, that just makes my day. I am honored to have that impact on you, and I'm grateful that I was able to lead you through cadaver dissection, which I hope you will always remember as being a profound experience in your preparation to be a physical therapist. We are here today to reflect on our gratitude and respect for all of the participants in Emory's Body Donor Program. Without them, the opportunity we just had would not have been possible. This service is truly dedicated to those who, in death, have served the living. Each of these donors, by their final compassionate gift, has participated in a great educational endeavor. Each had the courage and the concern for the future that motivated them to become great humanitarians who, by their final wish, have so valuably assisted in our quest to learn the intricate details of the human body. I think we all know how lucky we are to have had this invaluable experience, but that doesn't mean that we all had an easy time. For many of us, it was difficult, with a lot of complicated emotions. Others seemed able to breeze through it, either fully appreciating it along the way, or perhaps repressing negative emotions as a coping mechanism. The mixture of curiosity, fearfulness, and horror may challenge a student's equilibrium in ways that are unpredictable but important to understand. From anxiety to defensive measures, and from these to resolution and appreciative gratitude is a well-worn path that each student must traverse with support and understanding from faculty and peers. As we all may come to experience gratitude in different ways, some of us may not even be at that point yet, still trying to process what we've just been through. And because I think confronting these emotions is so important, I asked you to write 3 important letters to your donor, one at the beginning of the semester, one in the middle, and one at the end, because I wanted to have a better understanding from you of the various feelings related to the entire experience of cadaver dissection, from initial fears, anxiety, and excitement, to how you learned to cope with them throughout the semester, to how you may or may not have arrived at feelings of gratitude by the end. My hope in asking you to articulate your emotions was to help you feel supported by me and my other instructors, and to stimulate discussion among you and your lab partners. So, the topic of your first letter to your cadaver was straight and to the point. What are your anxieties about dissecting a human body? I would like to share with you, anonymously, though with your consent to share, some excerpts from your letters. I'm not always the best at looking into deep wounds, so I'm a bit worried about dissecting a human body. I worry that I will make big mistakes in my dissection efforts that will cause harm to your body that it does not deserve. What I fear most is not using you as an invaluable resource in the months to come, somehow squandering the gift you made in the name of science. I cannot imagine the scene in which I stand in front of you with a knife in my hand. I'm worried I will hurt you. In the face of intense anxiety, familiar defenses are often used to manage the discomfort. We can count on gallows humor, the naming and humanizing of cadavers, and other arranged forms of warding off unwanted feelings and ideas. The following were some of your thoughtful words regarding defense mechanisms and strategies you use to manage your feelings and emotions. One thing that has helped me through is having a heart full of appreciation. Going into lab, I told my group there was no way I would be able to cut into the cadaver. Surprisingly, I had a scalpel in my hand within 30 minutes of the first lab. Who would have thought? I do catch myself getting sad sometimes as we are dissecting certain areas, especially the face. So when I catch myself in those moments, that is when I will choose to read the dissector for my group and take 5 minutes to breathe, which overall helps calm my anxieties. I don't really have a way to deal with being somewhat shocked. As much as I try not to think about you as a cadaver, when I am holding your arm or hand, I feel I am holding a human. On one hand, it gives me some anxiety, but on the other hand, it gives me responsibility. Eventually, most students come to recognize that they have participated in a unique experience reserved for a privileged few that is steeped in a special sense of gratitude that is bilateral in nature. It is likely that body donation has its roots in gratitude that the donors have felt towards their own healthcare providers. And the students appreciate the transformative inside knowledge that firsthand body dissection alone can provide. It is a hard-won gratitude, hard to communicate, and thus in need of a special circumstance such as this service. So my final request at the end of your semester was for you to write a final letter to your cadaver, focusing on how you have reached feelings of gratitude. The following were a few of the profound words I received. Through the ups and downs of working with our body, we have not only grown as a group, but also developed some more complex problem-solving skills that we might not have been able to develop in a typical classroom or even clinical setting. I continue to be filled with gratitude for the opportunity to learn from you, the other donor bodies, our professors and peers, in what truly is a unique and life-changing experience. I never thought I would say this, but I will miss not being able to see and learn from body structures in person. I remember starting out the semester crying and almost having an emotional breakdown when I saw the instruction videos for the first dissection, and now I am shedding some tears while writing this letter. For someone to think of others beyond their presence on this earth is so commendable and consequently makes me more grateful for learning from an individual who had a level of selflessness, wanting to help others and have a purpose even in their absence of life. This person didn't know whose hands they would land on, but understood the benefit and answered the call. I just want to say thank you. This experience was nothing like I expected, but also everything I didn't know I needed. I would like to briefly share my own thoughts as someone who has spent over a decade in the cadaver lab teaching students. My journey toward gratitude has been a torturous route. I've probably told you all that as a PT student here at Emory, a long, long time ago, I barely touched the cadaver and was more of an observant bystander. And if I had looked into my crystal ball to the future to see that I would eventually be teaching anatomy in the cadaver lab to medical and PT students for 9 months out of the year, I would have run for the hills. And this summer, you all know I took on the task of completing an entire body dissection with a colleague so that I could be better at my job. Might surprise you to know that even after all this time, I still struggle with the dissection experience. I'm over feeling squeamish, mostly. As long as I keep my focused clinical hat on, I'm able to enjoy the teaching and learning process. It has been 2 years since my last recurring cadaver lab zombie nightmare, so that is progress. What continues to be a struggle for me is the constant reminder of my own mortality. And I struggle with not knowing anything about these donors, though I'm pretty sure if I did, it wouldn't help me with the contradictory feelings of awe and sadness that I'm constantly having to reconcile in my head. I am constantly wondering about the 66-year-old, way too young donor I'm currently spending copious amounts of time with. And after spending 8 hours with him on our first dissection day, carefully wrapping him up in his blanket and closing him in the blue bag, a strong wave of sadness and guilt washed over me that I was not prepared for, nor did I even understand. I think I felt guilty for leaving him alone in the lab. Was I worried he was going to be lonely until I returned 2 days later? A few months ago, I had the honor of speaking on behalf of the physical therapy and medical school programs at a biennial memorial service held by the School of Medicine at a local cemetery. This is a service held for families and loved ones of those who donated their bodies to Emory's body donor program over the last few years. I will be honest with you, I had very mixed feelings when I was asked to do this. Speaking to you all today is one thing, but facing the families of those who have been on our tables in my anatomy class was something I was not sure I was prepared for. Unfortunately for me, I had at least 15 minutes to stand up at the front, listening to those who spoke before me with a head-on view of the audience of at least 200 people. There were a lot of thoughts going through my head as I scanned that audience, and let's just say that not everybody was smiling. I'm lucky I was able to get past the sinking feeling in my stomach as I delivered my speech that day, trying not to make eye contact with any wet eyes in the audience. What grounded me that day was the super tall man who approached me afterward to thank me for sharing thoughts of gratitude from my students. He had traveled all the way here from Texas to celebrate his father, and he told me that while he signed the donation forms as a witness, he never understood his father's reasons for wanting to donate his body until that very day there in the cemetery, hearing from our students about the profound impact these donors have on our education. I was also surprised to hear from many others that there was and continues to be a long history of body donation within families. Families gathered around the beautifully maintained cemetery plot for family pictures. Sure, there was a little sadness that day as we expressed gratitude for their loved one's gift, but what surprised me most was that the feeling of gratitude was clearly mutual in nature. I've come to realize that human dissection is a strange and difficult experience for myself and likely for many of you, but it doesn't mean we are any less thankful than someone who struggles less with this task. It means we are all different. Our experience of gratitude for the opportunity to learn firsthand from these bodies is bound to be just as different. I believe that my personal struggles with human cadaver dissection continually help me in my journey as a concerned, empathic, and compassionate healthcare provider, and for that, I feel an immense amount of gratitude. I want to thank those of you who shared your thoughts and feelings about this very interesting and individual path towards gratitude. You were given a special gift, and I think all of you know that. But your acceptance of that gift did not end with your last day in lab. When you draw upon your anatomical understanding to treat your patients, you will be using your donor's gift. It is your responsibility to sustain your donor's generosity by providing your future patients with the best possible care based on your knowledge. And that is the gift of a lifetime.
Good afternoon, everybody. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Nita A-Chain, and I have the honor of serving as the president of this amazing physical therapy class of 2025. So today, I'm just here to express some gratitude for the donors and also just tell my class how proud of y'all that I am. So for me, in the beginning, this experience, I was very excited because I've always been interested in the human body, and I always wondered when we're going through the textbooks, I'm like, how do they know it looks like that? Like, I wanted to see if it truly, like the body truly looked with like everything that I have seen before. So I was very excited going into the experience, and for me, it was just very life-changing because being able to hold heart and lungs that kept someone alive for 96 years was just truly amazing, and it was truly life-changing, and being able to see all of the different muscles and how they connect and all of the different nerves. And I know for all of us, it was quite an emotional roller coaster because we were very curious, and then we were excited whenever we found something. We were disappointed when we accidentally cut a nerve. Oops. We were grateful at the end. We were stressed, we were tired, and I'm just so proud of each and every one of you with how we came together and tried to help each other find things, all those countless hours that we spent in the lab at night and just trying to help each other figure it out, going through the heart, going through the lungs. I'm just proud of each and every one of you, and I really do want to express my sincerest gratitude to the donors because it's truly been a rewarding experience for us in being able to have this, because not every school has this opportunity to do that, and I feel that we got something extra by being able to have this experience. And also to the families of the donors, I do want to say thank you for sharing your loved ones with us because they have changed our lives and will change healthcare because now we have a different experience that will give us an upper hand. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Reverend Maddie Henderson. I'm the Christian chaplain in the Office of Spiritual and Religious Life, and I'm going to lead us in the participatory part of the service today. I'm going to read a poem, and while I read it, I invite you to glance at the candle on the altar and call to mind your donor. Think about the person that they would have been in their lifetime, the relationships they may have had, the activities they may have enjoyed. Once I read the poem, you're each invited to come up and light a candle in memory of your donor. Life After Death by Laura Gilpin. These things I know, how the living go on living, and how the dead go on living with them, so that in a forest, even a dead tree casts a shadow, and the leaves fall one by one, and the branches break in the wind, and the bark peels off slowly, and the trunk cracks, and the rain seeps in through the cracks, and the trunk falls to the ground, and the moss covers it, and in the spring, the rabbits find it and build their nest inside the dead tree, so that nothing is wasted in nature or in love. This time, students, you're invited to come up as you wish and light a candle. You can light it from the one that's on the altar, from these on the side, or from each other's. Please come. Okay, go. Can put it on the altar. invite you to look at the altar, look at the table. We started with one light, and now we have this table shining brightly. With each candle, the light grew. Some of you lit your candles from the center, from the sides, from each other. And the same happened this semester in the anatomy lab. You gained knowledge from your donor. You gained knowledge from each other, from your professors. Each of you will go into your work and take that light with you, imparting it to your patients, to your family and friends. I hope that this is an image that you can hold on to when your work gets hard, either this semester or when you're practicing. That you remember the image of this light and the life of your donor and be encouraged in gratitude. Amen.
Good evening. I am Diamond Mungrew, and I'm going to be reading Dedicated Hearts. Dedicated hearts like yours are not so easy to find. It takes a special person to be so generous and kind. To care so much for your fellow man is a quality all too rare. Yet, you give of your time and talents for all in need to share. So thank you for being a volunteer. We're privileged to work with you. We want you to know how appreciated you are, not just today, but the whole year through. Thank you.
It's going to be different because I know you all are medical students, but I'm going to ask you to sing. Just to lighten your load a little bit. Everybody knows this song. You're going to help me sing it, okay? Can y'all say yes? We're going to help you sing? All right. Sometimes in our lives, we all have pain, we all have sorrow, we all have sorrow. But if we are wise, we know that there's always tomorrow. Always tomorrow. Come on, here we go. Lean on me, come on. When you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long. Yeah, I'm gonna need somebody to lean. Come on again, lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend, and I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long, and I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. You just call on me, brother, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you understand. We all need somebody to lean. Just call me. Call me when you need it. Call me. Oh, hear me now. Call me when you need it. Call me. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend, and I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long. Thank you.
Thank you, Mari. So as we move towards the conclusion of this service, I want to pause to offer a few moments of silence for all of us. Moments to catch our breath. Moments to express the gratitude that is in our hearts. So I invite you to place your feet flat on the floor, to close your eyes, to center your awareness on your breath. Let's take a deep inhale in and out. To feel gratitude for the gift of our bodies, their miraculousness, their imperfections, all of it. For you who have studied the body so clearly, just to feel at home in your body for a few moments. And sometimes as I give you half a minute of silence, if you don't know what to do with it, if you don't have the words for your prayers lined up, try to find one true thing that you feel in this moment. One true thing. I'll conclude our gathering with a prayer for all of us. May the source of life grant each of us blessing on our journey. May the lessons that you all learned during your course of study in the anatomy lab be a resource that you can draw upon during your careers. May you recognize the humanity of every person you encounter. When it is difficult, which undoubtedly it will be in moments, may you remember that your greatest intention and greatest goal is to bring healing to those you encounter. God bless these people with grace and the humility and the skill to make their patients more whole and to make the world more whole. May the gratitude that we express this day be a comfort and a support. Let us lean on it and make it a central part of our lives. And let us say, Amen. So Maury's going to play some music, and people can feel free to exit. Are there some snacks outside? I think there might be some snacks outside. And just grateful to all of you for being here.